Welcome to Mimio Training Quick Learn On Demand, MimioStudio Basics 3, Adding Content. In this session, we will create exercises with the MimioStudio Activity Wizard. We'll add content using the copy-paste method. We'll also add content using the screen clipping method. And then we will import content into MimioStudio Notebook using the Insert menu and the Insert File button. MimioStudio Activity Wizard has built-in intelligence that automatically creates interactive exercises in minutes. It includes a knowledge engine with content library and exercise templates that combine automatically to create these exercises and makes it really quick and easy to create them. You can build exercises that target skill acquisition, rate building, and evaluation, and all of that is built into the process of creating the lesson. The entire exercise generation platform is founded upon proven instructional design principles we'll talk about in just a little bit. You see, this is a sample of what those pages look like. Lots of really good design and thought goes into putting these into your into the software. It is the easiest and most intelligent exercise builder available. It automates the lesson building process. You can create content or you can add activities using any of the core subject areas. We have arts, English language, math, science, and social studies. We have content from grades K through 12 with various lesson templates available, as well as customizable objectives that are built into the lesson design process. You can find more about this, about quality lesson criteria at mimioconnect.com/instructional design corner, this website right here. So let's take a look at a finished activity and how that looks for you. We have two different columns here. One says mammals, one says reptiles. I've got my choice pool right down here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this question mark and see what my objective is. It says that the student will classify mammals and reptiles by dragging the images from the choice pool into the appropriate column. So I'm going to go down here and I grab my mammals, and my mammals get put into the correct places. And I put my reptiles in the right spot, and you'll see that as soon as I place them there, I get a green check mark telling me that the answer is correct. Now if I were to take one of these animals and put it in here, that's an incorrect answer. It's got a red X by it, so I get that automatic feedback right away. I can drag this back down into my choice pool. I can move these from one place to another if I choose. When I'm done with the activity then, I can click on the Solve button, and nothing changed, so I got it 100% correct. If I go down here then into this black box, I can click on Reset Answers, and all of my answers come back down to the bottom, and I'm ready for the next group of kids. If I wanted to do the same activity again, but with different choices, I can click on this black button, click on Update Choices, and now the software detects some different answers, and then I can go in and I can do the activity once more. So lots of things that I can do with this, lots of flexibility, and lots of ways that we can incorporate this into our instruction. So let's go through the process of creating a new activity really quick. To create a new activity, first thing that we do is we click on the New Activity button next to the New Page button. When we click on New Activity, we bring up the wizard. First step in our wizard is to define our subject area and our content. So I'm going to choose science, but I could do arts, English language, math, or social studies as well. And so I'm going to start by picking science, and then the next choice is to select my grade level. I'm going to select grades 6 to 8, but I also want to include K to 2 and 3 to 5. So on my Windows computer, I can press and hold the Control key to select multiple grade levels. On Mac, you would press and hold Command, and you'd be able to do the same thing. So I've got grades K through 8 selected for my grade level. Now underneath here, I have my template. I'm going to create an exercise that's similar to what we did before, but maybe a little bit step up of what our students were doing before. So I'm going to select a 2-column chart, and now once I've made those 3 choices, my next button highlights, so I can click on Next to move on to the next spot. Here I select my topic. I'm going to select animal classification, but you see I've got a whole bunch of other different options for science that I could do in this setting as well. Now here under my category, just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to select arthropods right here, And then if I go over to this other category and I select invertebrates, what's going to happen is my arthropods is going to change back to select category. I can't pick two topics that are, or two categories that are not mutually exclusive. If I'm classifying invertebrates and if I'm classifying invertebrates and arthropods, that won't work because all arthropods are also invertebrates. So it's a subset of the other one. So I can't have two topics that, or two categories that are not mutually exclusive. So I'm going to select mammals and reptiles. And then down here, I have the option of when my answers will be revealed. To begin with, they were immediately following a student response. I want to change that this time to when I choose the check answers item. So this is more of a little bit more rigorous activity that I'm having them work on. When I've done that, I click on Next. And that brings me to my choices. So you see, I've gone through Define, Select, and now I refine. Here are all of the options that are available for choices that would go in the mammals column. So and then in here I can have some additional flexibility. Here are all of the reptiles that I can choose from, and here are all of the distractors. So you can switch back and forth between the different categories using these tabs right up at the top. Now for my mammals, let's say we've been talking about we haven't talked about whales yet, and my students aren't ready for that part of the lesson yet. I can select it right here, and then if I click on Exclude, I get a red X right here, and that means that this option right here will never show up in my choice pool, no matter how many times I update them. If I click on this Update button, I can change my choices in my choice pool, and I can do that as many times as I want until I've exhausted all of my options. The other way that I can do this is if we've talked about these now and I want to make sure that that's included, I can click on this Include button, and now you'll see I've got a green check mark right here by my beluga whale. If I click on Update once again, you'll see I've got a green check mark right next to this. Here's my beluga whale. Click on it again. My beluga whale is always going to show up there because I have set it to be included in this lesson. If I click on Clear here, you'll notice the green check mark goes away here, and the green check mark goes away here, and now that goes in. It's got just as much of a choice to be, or a chance to be picked as in the random lesson as everything else. When I click on my display type, I can switch back and forth between images and text. So if I wanted to have just the name of the animal, I could do that here as well. Images takes me like this. Now down at the bottom, you'll see that this is my choice pool. I have these 4 different buttons right here that tell me how many of each I have. So you'll see I have 6 mammals, 6 reptiles, 4 distractors, and 4 empty slots. If I wanted to change that at all, what I can do is I can go onto my into my choice pool right here, and I can right-click or control-click on a map, and then I have my Include, Exclude, and Clear options right here, just like I have up with my choice pool up in the top. And then I can switch categories. So if I wanted to add another distractor and get rid of one of my mammals, this is a mammal, I right-clicked on it, I click down here on distractors, and now that turns my mammal count to 5, reptiles remain at 6, distractors are 5, and my empty slots are 4. Now over here, if I wanted to get rid of another reptile, I could right-click on this, change its category to empty, and now I have 5 of each kind. So I've got a total of 15 as well as 5 empty slots. I can go through and eliminate choices like this, and as many choices as I want to get rid of, I can get rid of them. So I've got a grand total of 12 options right here. I think that's a pretty good way to go. 4 mammals, 4 reptiles, and 4 distractors. Once I'm happy with the way that everything looks in here, my choice pool looks good. Maybe I want to update it another time just for good measure. I've got everything all set. Then I want to click on the next button. It's going to bring me to my objectives. So I have a preview of what the lesson is going to look like. Here, I've got all of these, my clean and cluttered, my clean and uncluttered layout right up here. And then I'd write my objective right here that's built into the lesson design process. When I've got my objective all set, click on the Finish button, and it inserts a new page into my document. You'll see right over here, here's my previous page. Here's my new one. And then my students are ready to do this activity. So I can click and drag my mammals in here, my reptiles over here, and go through the activity, work on it with my students. And when we're done and we want to check everything over, then we can click on this button right down here and click on Check Answers. And when we click on Check Answers, it's going to tell us if we got something right or wrong, and then we can see our feedback there, as opposed to seeing it immediately as we saw before. And then here again, we can update our choices and change our activity around. Endless variation for the way that this activity can work. So, as I said, the MimioStudio Activity Wizard makes it really easy to create and edit activities using the Activity Wizard. It follows these quality content objectives that I'm going to send to you right now. But your learning objective is student-focused, observable, and measurable, has lessons that are sequenced from easy to difficult and or from few to many. You have many opportunities to practice. As a matter of fact, you have an infinite number of opportunities to practice if you wanted to do it like that. You have assessment that is tied to your learning objective, and that's built into the lesson design process. Your screen is uncluttered, and your animation that is used is done with a purpose. So you have lots of really easy way to incorporate this into your lesson design and into your activities. This quality content checklist, I'll pull this up right now. This is a part of that packet that just got sent through Collaborate. So save that to your computer, and you should be able to take a look at that and just keep that handy as you're designing your lessons. Not even necessarily just with your Activity Wizard, but anything that you do. It's a good checklist to have and keep handy. So, like I said, the MimioStudio Activity Wizard has student-focused objective writing built directly into the creation process with the option for immediate feedback so you can coach your students. You can customize your choice pool to adjust the level of difficulty. It gives you the built-in knowledge engine with categories, facts, and content across all of your core subjects. And with all of these things combined, you can create over 1 million different exercises from the library of content and the templates that are available. So lots of options, lots of flexibility, lots of power in this tool that allows you to quickly and easily make these interactive activities. Moving on then, copying and pasting is one of those things that we do on a regular basis, and you don't have to change your workflow in order to incorporate a copy and paste into your lesson creation in MimioStudio. So the way that this works is, first of all, you will select a picture. After you select your picture, you're going to right-click and then click on Copy. Or if you are on a Mac, it would be a Control-click. And then when you get back into your document, into your Mimio document, you click on Paste, right-click and then select Paste, or you can use the paste icon up at the top. It's really that easy. Not something that it's something that you do on a regular basis anyways. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull up a Google image search of cells and then select an image. We are going to copy that image and then paste it in here, and then I'll show you a couple of different ways that maybe you could add some interactivity to that lesson. So I'm going to link to this image right here and pull that up, and I see I have an image of a cell right here. This is the one that I want. When I click on this then to view the image, I have a thumbnail of it right here. What I always suggest is that you click on View Image right here. That's going to give you the full-size version of it. When I right-click on this then, I'm going to click on Copy Image. I'm going to come back to my document, go onto this blank page, and I right-click and paste, and my image is in here. So we're all set. Now some things that I can do to add some interactivity and things like that to this. I can click on my pen tool and change my ink to white. And now I can write over the top of these, words and hide them. And then when my students come up with something correct, as we're talking about it, or if I wanted to turn this into a matching activity or something like that, I just simply use my eraser, and I can erase what I've written over the top of that. Another way that you could do this is to create a text box, or to create a box and put it over the top, and then maybe have some labels off to the side or something like that and drag those on top of it and use them like that. Another thing that I like to do is I like to zoom way in on something and use this as kind of a figure out what it is that you're looking at. So if they can't figure it out here, maybe zoom out a little bit more, and then just take it a step at a time, step by step, bit by bit, and then eventually you get the full picture and they can figure out what it is that they're looking at. So some really neat things that we can do with that to add some interactivity to our lessons. One more thing when you're adding in images from the internet, and something that I always try to remind my teachers to do, is to cite their sources. So when they find an image and they're going to use it in a lesson, I tell them to go back to their image search, and then instead of clicking on the View Image, click the Visit Page, and then here's the image that they used. So, something's not right here. And then we want to get that link of where it is that where they got their information from, and then paste that right into the document. And then you can resize that. So that does a couple of different things. First of all, that reminds you as the teacher where you got that image from, and then it also gives you the opportunity to cite your sources and share with your students how to use resources properly. Screen clipping is another way to grab content from any resource outside of MimioStudio. When you use a screen clipping, the difference between using a screen clipping and a copy and paste is that this will grab any combination of anything that's shown on your screen and in any kind of a format. So if you use the screen clipping, you can use this as a way to get pictures and text, not necessarily just one or the other. The way that this works is, and this is anything that's displayed on your screen. So we'd start by going to any kind of a resource. It could be a website, it could be a document or anything like that. Then we go into our tools and we click on Insert Screen Clipping. That brings up this menu that you see right across the top. My screen grays out. And then I have 4 different icons that I can choose from right here. So I have a rectangle, I have an ellipse, I have free form, or I can grab my picture of my entire desktop. These will require me to select something, and if it's my entire desktop, it'll just take a snapshot of everything that's on my desktop, including the toolbar that goes across the bottom. When you select one of these shapes, then you get a little target that shows up on your screen. You click and drag across if it's the rectangle or the ellipse, or if it's a free form, you draw around what it is that you're trying to grab. And then as soon as you let go of your mouse button or you pick up the stylus from your Mimio Teach, it copies that image and puts it directly into your notebook file. So when you make your selection, then it'll look something like this. If I use the oval tool, then I would select a circle or whatever shape it was that I created there, and then you see I've got parts of each of these images as well as some of the text that goes along with it. So let me show you how that works. I've got a Word document to open up, and then I also have a link to a website. So I'll show you how each of these go. First of all, I'm going to pull up my Word document. So I've got my graph right down here, and I'm going to go into my Insert menu, click on Screen Clipping. My screen grays out. I've got my rectangle tool selected. I want to grab this graph right here. So I'm going to click and drag across. And now, as soon as I let go of the button, it gets copied directly into my lesson. I can then take this and resize it, do whatever I wanted to do with it, and we're all good to go. So another thing that I wanted to point out at this point is that you see we've got this little green line that showed up underneath our Y. So anything that displays on the screen will show up in your screen clipping. So keep that in mind. Anything that's displaying, however it's displaying, is going to show up in your screen clipping. Now for the science explorations, this is going to take me to a website. So I click on this. I go to the Science Explorations website. And I'm going to, once again, click on this to insert a screen clipping. And then I will do a free form selection on this one. I want to grab just this part of this circle right here. So I'm going to click and draw my circle around that. And it's kind of rough, but we're going to do the best that we can. I've closed my circle. I'm going to let go of that. And now you see it grabs some of the image around it, but it creates a custom shape, however it was that you grabbed that. That gets added into your lesson. So really easy way to add content from outside resources into your notebook. Now, to import content into your MimioStudio notebook is super easy. There are 3 easy ways to do this. First of all, you could do Insert and then click on File, or you could use the Insert File button here in your Mimio Tools, or my personal favorite is just to drag and drop directly from a location, from a file location or your desktop to an open notebook page. So I'll show you what that looks like. What we're going to do here is I'm going to open up a new document, and we'll insert a PDF in there. You can also do this with a Smart Notebook file or Promethean or PowerPoint. A lot of those different kinds of interactive whiteboard files or presentation files. And when you do those imports, it keeps the objects in there. So if you have PowerPoint transitions and you have PowerPoint text boxes and things like that, you can add those. You can import those into MimioStudio 11, and it keeps all of those different aspects as you put it in. So super cool. Really easy way to incorporate content that you've already got. And then I'll use that same file to show you to drag and drop a video into that lesson. So we're going to start by opening a new document. Hopefully we're going to start by opening a new document. There it goes. Okay, we're thinking. All right, here's my new document. I'm going to click on File. I'm going to click on File, and we'll go to my folder where I have all of my information. I'm going to click on my Marble Ramp PDF. When I click on that, see it says Loading Document right here. It's processing the document, putting it into my lesson, and you see right here, I've got a PDF document, a physical science activity. I can write over the top of this using my Mimio tools. Oops, let's change it to a different color so you can actually see it. So I can write on this, and I can zoom back out if I wanted to. It keeps all of that to scale and everything. Now I want to add that video, so I'm going to open up my folder here, and I'm going to find the folder that I'm looking for. I have a Simple Machines video, so I'm going to click on this and just drag it onto the page, and you'll notice that a window pops up and it's ready to play. So this uses all of the codecs that are already built into my computer. I can just play it right inside my lesson. I don't have to go anywhere else to grab my content or anything like that. I can resize it in here. I can rotate it, however it is that I want to use this. I can use that as a resource in there. And like I said, it's just simple drag and drop. Not a big deal at all. Now, one thing to keep in mind as you add media files and things like that into your lessons, that does increase the overall file size of your file. So you do need to keep that in mind, especially if you plan on sharing it or emailing it or things like that. Also, you should keep in mind that when you have these videos in here, it uses the codecs that are on your computer. So if you're switching back and forth between a Windows and a Mac, you want to make sure that the file format that you're using for your videos is something that's supported on either. It's not as much of an issue as it used to be in the past, but it is still something that you should be aware of. So that's how easy it is to insert content into your notebook lessons. A couple of extension activities for you to try out on your own. I would encourage you to build a lesson in your content area using the activity wizard. See how quick and easy it is to do that. Insert a Smarter or Promethean file into a MimioStudio notebook file and work with that material and see how it works. Use a screen clipping to incorporate some lesson elements that you already have. And I would encourage you to insert a PowerPoint and make it interactive. You can do lots of really neat things with your PowerPoint, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And of course, I would encourage you to learn more from our other Quick Learn sessions, because we love Mimio. Lots of things we can do with this. Mimio Training has lots of on-demand and online resources available for you. You can go to Mimio.com and check out the reference guides, video tutorials, user guides, and other Quick Learn recordings, as well as live Quick Learn sessions that are happening throughout the week and throughout the month. Lots of really great opportunities to interact with the content and interact with the tools and learn from Mimio experts who are very passionate about the product and also love to share with people how to use these things effectively. So you can find more about that at Mimio.com. Mimio Connect is our interactive teaching community with free educational teacher-created resources that are aligned to state and Common Core standards. There's a large active online community with Mimio masters who can answer your questions directly. If you haven't already, please join us at MimioConnect.com. Here are the Mimio Classroom products. You can find out more information about those by contacting your local sales rep or reseller for more information. You can also go to Mimio.com or call 877-MIMIO. Thank you for your time and for viewing this session. Here's a link to an assessment that you can take for 1 hour of professional development credit, or CEUs, in your state or district. And this is something that will hopefully help you along your way and document that you spent the good time learning about Mimio. Thank you once again for your time. If you have any questions, you can send an email to training@mimio.com. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/mimio.technology. Watch us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/mimiotechnology.